Hey Sainers, welcome to Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the round 19 preview. St Kilda versus North Melbourne, Marvel Stadium, Sunday twilight, 4:40. Back in our usual time slot. We're unbeatable there. This is going to be a big win. Yeah, I don't know about that. Look, I'm hoping it's going to be a big win. I'm hoping, but yeah, you're not going to hold your breath. Obviously, last week, really disappointing against the Gold Coast Suns. This week's been crazy in the media. It feels like every hour there's a new, just bad article about the club. Brett Ratten came out now and criticising Nick Riewoldt. Kane Cornes criticising the club, saying that we think we're better than we are, even though I've hit back on Twitter and, talked about Andrew Bassett, basically saying, no, we don't think that. And then that got played on Footy Talk with Joey and Rui, and they talked about it, basically backing up what I was saying, and then saying what Kane said was pretty wrong. And then Kane put it on Footy Classified and they had a bit of a chat about it there. Caro Wilson came out and started talking about how Andrew Bassett and Ross Lyon and Simon Leflin aren't getting along or something, and there's a bit of a story there that she'd like to unlock. And it's like, what a coincidence that all these things are starting to come out when we're struggling. This wouldn't have come out 10 weeks ago when we were in top 3 on the ladder. It's very funny how they just pick and choose when they want to go with these stories, and Kane Cornes saying that we're not, we haven't improved since last year. Just some really annoying articles, but we brought that on ourselves. That's the first thing I'll say is we brought that on ourselves. When you play shit football, when you're struggling, when you're, one of the least exciting teams to watch at the moment, struggling to kick goals, we're 15th, I think, for goals in the last 10 weeks, only ahead of West Coast, North and Hawthorn. Yeah, you're not doing well, you're not doing well. And I'd argue a lot of the time that Hawthorn have actually played some pretty exciting football. So, off the back of that, we do play North Melbourne. We are in 6th position on the ladder. We are pretty heavy favourites. They are 17th, we are 6th. Obviously, last time we played them, it was not the most exciting game you've ever seen. 4-10-34 to 8-16-64. The crazy thing about this is that was the last win at Marvel Stadium for our footy club. That was in round 8. It's now round 19. We've played probably 4 or 5 games at Marvel since then, and we've not been close to winning. We've struggled at Marvel, and that game was a very ugly game. I can remember it fondly. I wasn't there. Luckily, I was in Sydney, watched it on my laptop, and it was just a struggle town. And that was kind of the first signs of us just not knowing how to kick goals. And you kind of hope that was a one-off. But since then, it's kind of been, every week, it's been the same issue. We've not been able to kick close to 100 points. I think against the Giants we got 92 points. But apart from that, we're averaging, 9 goals a game or something? It's crazy. It's crazy how much we're struggling. But at the same time, you look at our forward line, you look at who's there, the youngsters, the lack of experience, the ins and outs. Is it really that much of a surprise? So this week, Ross Lyon came out today and talked about, how there are going to be quite a few changes. Jack Hayes is available. Jack Billings, I believe, is available. Jack Higgins is available. Tom Campbell's another one that could come in. There are a number of options there that we can look at. I don't think there were any injuries from last week, but obviously a lot of bad performances. So injuries aren't going to save players this week. They're not going to be able to keep players in longer than they should. This is an open slather, and I think Ross is going to oblige and make some changes that maybe he should have made 5 weeks ago. Maybe, not to critique Ross too much just yet, but you wonder how late these changes are. Maybe they could have come a month ago. But nonetheless, apparently we're going to see a swing of the axe. I don't know what that means. Sometimes they say that and it doesn't happen. You make 2 changes and you're like, those are forced changes. They're not really, statement changes. Who would you drop to make a statement, based on last week? Are you dropping your captain? You're dropping Jack's, Jade Gresham, Dan Butler. Who are you dropping, Because at the same time, this is winnable, but you drop this game and finals is basically in the distance. It's gone. We're not thinking about it yet, as Ross has alluded to, but that's even further away because the next 3 weeks need to be wins. North, I think then it's Hawthorn, followed by Carlton. Big games, and that Carlton game is going to be an 8-point game. That's going to be huge. So we need to nail these next 2 weeks, it'd be nice to get some percentage back off these two, because the last time we played Hawthorn, they beat us, and the last time we played North, obviously we didn't make that much percentage. We won by 5 goals, kicked a very low score of 64 points. So regardless of the changes, I want to see more goals. I want to see an endeavour to just, get back to the basics. I know that's easy to say, but we do look like we're overcomplicating a lot of the game. We overthink, we overplay, we over-handball. We're just doing a bit too much of everything, even over-invest in the pressure acts. Sometimes you got to just take a step back, wait outside the pack, not go for the ball. 5 Saners going for the ball. It comes out, and then the opponent's got 4 players on the outside unmanned. That's what I mean by just taking a step back, getting back to the basics, playing smart, simple, sustainable football, and see what comes from that. I think your form can change pretty quickly. It can change pretty badly very quickly, like we've seen, but it can change back as well if we just get a few of those key fundamentals in place. And North Melbourne obviously struggled last week as well. They're 17th for a reason, but they have the odd performance that, provides faith for their fans, gets them up and about, shows them what the future is. They've got some good youngsters, obviously. And then some senior boys that do the job week in, week out to carry them through. This is obviously a rebuild, a transition year for them, and you'd imagine in 2-3 years' time they'll be pretty decent. But for now, they're 17th, and we need to be taking full advantage of that, So it's a big game for us. We need to get up for it. I obviously don't imagine it's going to be a huge crowd, but regardless, we just need to kick. I want to see 100. I've said it for the last 10 weeks, but I want to see 100 points. I want to see us kick 15 goals, 16, 17 goals, because they just, I don't know, it gives you a bit more, just motivates you. There's a bit of a flow about it. I feel like that's the light switch, when you're starting to kick more goals. Obviously, it's against North, but it doesn't matter. It needs to start somewhere. And if it starts with a big win against North, so be it. And then Hawthorn, and then you've got full momentum going into the Carlton game, and then the Richmond game, and then the Geelong game, and then the Brisbane game. There are some big, big games coming up, including this one. This is a big one for us to find some form. It's been like that for the last 10 weeks, as I said, but we really need to get moving now, because every week that goes by, for some reason, we're lucky enough to be staying 5th and 6th, but I'd imagine if we dropped this one, that's pretty much the last time you would see us in the top 6 for the season. That's how big this game is. So hopefully we treat it with the utmost respect, and we get the chocolates. But obviously I'm not full of confidence like I have been for most of the season, but I do back the boys in to get the job done and just professionally get it done. Obviously the blowtorch has been on the club in the media. Obviously Ross Lyon has put a lot of heat on the senior boys, but also the rest of the team that don't carry the weight when, the top tier players are going, which he alluded to right after the game in his presser. And hopefully we see a big lift from not only the senior boys, but obviously everyone under them. And we can just see a good 4-quarter collective performance, professional performance, and move on to next week. So comment your thoughts, Saners. Let me know how you're feeling. I mean, I kind of know how you're feeling, but let me know what you want to see from this game. Obviously, subscribe. I haven't announced the winner for the Rui signed portrait, so there is still time to subscribe, and you might win it. You might be the last person to subscribe within the time period, and you win it. How lucky is that? So subscribe and like the video as well. That'd be awesome. So I'll see you after the game, Saners. Big, big weekend for us. We need to get the win. Hopefully, I'll see you after the game for a review. I'm not sure if it'll be live. If we win, there may be some bonus content coming to the channel. Maybe with some players and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. But I'll see you nonetheless after the game for the review. Hopefully to chat about a very, very important win. So enjoy the rest of your week, Saners. Take care, and as always, go you mighty Saners. See you guys.